Hello, this is LEGO's larger scale classic TV series Batmobile, and it is large. I paid $150 US for this 150 and built its 1,822 pieces live over on Twitch. This comes with a large plaque with a very simple build and a sticker for the graphics on it. No, they did not say that they were going to do all of these in prints in the future. They only said they were going to do prints for the Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars sets. And then it also comes with an Adam West Batman minifigure on a little corner of a building. We'll look at those later. My overall impression of the finished product here is definitely very positive, but the build experience wasn't anything to write home about. It just wasn't one of the more interesting to assemble large cars or sets of this size that they've done. If you've recently built like Speed Champions or even other cars from this line, you might find this to be just, I don't know, just a little bit pedestrian, a little bit normal in how it goes together. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing at all. But again, if you're specifically looking for amazing build techniques through and through, and that's of a lot of value to you, I just feel like you're not going to get a lot here. This is very purpose built. It really focuses on just getting its size, its shape, its color blocking to the best of its reasonable ability, while also following LEGO standards for ease of build and understandability of the build process for even someone who's not a master of building LEGO. I think the underside helps to really sell that. You can see just how grid-based it is, how basic that first layer is, and it doesn't have a whole lot of things attaching to it. Even when they've done this sort of frame before, usually you'll see a lot of things that are kind of prepping for other assemblies. There's not a lot of that, and there's not a lot of stuff in the way of, well, functions. The tires spin and that's it. There's no steering. There are almost no action features, almost no things that you can actually change on this whatsoever. The one exception is just that the trunk or boot opens up and the mobile crime computer is there. Honestly, it's realistic enough. You got a sticker for the label there, sticker down here, another sticker down below a little bit farther as well, and then two stickers on the floor to give you the details of the wiring in there. Speaking of stickers, pretty much everywhere you see any of these little bat labels around or any kind of decoration whatsoever, they are stickers. The only place you find prints in this entire set come right at the very end. I mean, the very end of the build process, you put these on. They just have 4 of those included to represent the little spinny logo things on the wheels. The wheels, unfortunately, are obviously not chrome. They're not even silver. It's just a plain gray. A little bit of a disappointment there. Also, these fenders are much too squared off. If you are not super familiar with the design of the actual vehicle, I think it's going to look fine to you, or if you just haven't looked at references in a while. But if you actually look at the actual vehicle in comparison to this, or if you're a big fan of the show and you rewatch it on a regular basis, you're definitely going to see that those fenders just ain't right. They should be round. They should be completely round. No engine in here, no engine details whatsoever. This is just to get the angle. You can't actually open that up, I'm afraid. I don't think they ever showed it in the show, though. I don't think they ever developed that. It has the right gadgets that have been depicted and the right buttons. These are brand new windscreens, so a different one here versus here, shorter here, longer here. Those look great. I appreciate their inclusion, and I especially appreciate and want to acknowledge that LEGO did place each one in its own bag within the box. So no damage was done to either of those. They have arrived perfectly crystal clear with almost no scuffing whatsoever. The interior detail is really good, and it's pretty comprehensive too. It does rely heavily on stickers once again, but the details that are there are good, and there are a lot of them that have been depicted, a lot of the gadgets and buttons. I like the inclusion of the clear lens over the compass. The compass, once again, does use a sticker underneath, but still, it ends up looking right. They even have the pedals down below, which all that looks good, but you just can't see it that much because you can't open the doors either. Now, I'm willing to accept that, but it is definitely something that's down from what you expect. You know, you definitely expect doors to open on these larger scale cars. The fire extinguisher there in the middle looks really good. One thing I don't like here is that these can just move out of the way easily. These little indicators off to the side. The shaping here isn't perfect, but I think they captured enough detail, so I'm overall happy with this. Just to keep knocking these off every time, or knocking them around every time I touch this. And here's what it looks like from the other side. So you can actually see in there just a little bit better from this side. More of the details. Of course, the Bat phone is an important one. It's really, really obvious. And again, a lot of things have been captured here. So if you're looking for Easter eggs, or you're looking for references, they've got quite a few of them. And I like how the seats were done too. Now the seats do not rely on stickers for their texture or the pinstriping there, and that's nice. They also have masonry bricks in both 1x2 and 1x4, new in black in this one set. And lastly, on the subject of black itself, I do want to call attention to the fact that you see black and you see red and you see gray, and you don't see much else. You don't see any colors here that you shouldn't be seeing. Even the insides of these pipes here for the little fireworks launchers, even those have the correct color inside. So you actually put a half pin in there that is red to give just a little bit of, rather than blue showing up in there, you just see a little bit of a color that you want to see. There's blue here, but you have to bend that back. Most of this, the overwhelming majority of this, is very, very clean and well covered. So that's nice to see, much better than what they had been doing for quite a while. Oh, but here's one thing that should have had an option for a red glow inside of it that doesn't. The rocket thruster nozzle thing exhaust. Just black, and then that's it. They don't even give you the option of like a disc that you can put over just to make it glow, much less actually having any flames sticking out. That's a disappointment. Just a little something there would have been nice. All right, now it's time to quickly talk about price, value, engine, steering, rebrickable, and Robin. I think that's about it. This cost me, again, $150 US. It's 150 euros, 130 pounds UK, or $200 Canadian, which as of the time of the recording of this video is equivalent to about $146 US. I personally am fine with the value here, given that it's 2024 and just how expensive Lego is and everything. This is pretty big. It's pretty well done. It displays nicely. I'm not surprised at the price. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not aghast. I don't think the price is an issue here for the amount of stuff that you get. The fact that it doesn't have engine detail, I think is forgivable given that the engine detail was never shown on the real thing. The lack of steering, though, is definitely unfortunate. Rebrickable exists. I think probably even before this thing was released already, rebrickable solutions to those issues and more were already starting to show up. And that's one of the beauties of Lego, is that we have a worldwide fan community and the ability for folks to spend a lot of time and effort to make things even better if they don't like something in particular. I personally, I'm just not hating on the fact that this doesn't have working steering, doesn't have engine detail in it. They're not killers. They're not deal breakers for me, because the overwhelming majority of people in the world who are going to get this are going to build it and then put it on a shelf and just leave it there. That's it. The overwhelming majority of people can enjoy all the action features and things once as they build it, maybe immediately after, and then that's it. Then the thing goes on the shelf. So your value just diminishes and diminishes and diminishes for all those things that for the most part you're just not going to use. So I'm okay and actually happy with them keeping the price down on this. It could have been much more expensive today, honestly. Especially if they included all those additional details, it would have been more expensive without any question. This guy though, this guy, yeah, he's there and Robin isn't, right? What the heck? Why? It doesn't make sense. But here, once again, I'm gonna diverge from the general opinion, at least the general opinion that I'm supposed to repeat because I'm online. I'm going to say I'm fine with not including Robin. I don't think they needed to include this at all because this is a large scale set. It has nothing to do with minifigures whatsoever. That is not a dig against minifig collectors. That is not a slight against minifig collectors and their constant plight. You just don't need to have minifigs in absolutely everything. These two don't go together, other than the fact that, obviously it's Adam West and everything, but that doesn't fit in the seat. This set would have been perfectly fine without the minifigure. If it didn't have the minifigure, should they have reduced the price? Yes, a little bit, like $5, at retail. So I think it was a mistake for them to include this and to not include the Robin. If they were going to include one, they should have included. Both of them, they messed up on that with the minifig scale one as well. Now, that was a serious problem. That was a real problem. This here, I don't find to be a problem personally, because not everything in Lego has to be for minifig collectors. Minifig collectors exist. I recognize your existence. I respect your existence and your rights to like what you like. Go do that. Go get all the minifigs. But this is a build set. It's all about the build. So yeah, I really think that Lego kind of just needs to just tighten their belt up a little bit, put their shoulders back, and just do things that make a little bit more sense, and that might anger some people, because no matter what you do, if you do something, you're going to anger some people. You're going to make some people feel slighted. Let's just, instead of making everybody unhappy that this doesn't include Robin, just think in terms of this, because this is a good package right here, at least, again, in my personal opinion. And if you disagree with that, that's perfectly fine, but I hope that I've at least provided some interesting views of this, some good overview of it, a good presentation of it, or helped you to come to a conclusion for yourself on whether you want to buy this. If you do want to buy it, please consider using one of my affiliate links in the video description if there's one that's appropriate to you, but no pressure on that whatsoever. It just helps me to be able to keep buying these things as a regular consumer, to be able to bring you free content. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.